South Park is pretty famous for their parodies of celebrities over the years. These parodies include people like Tom Cruise, Kanye West, Michael Jackson, the list goes on. In fact, the Wikipedia list of celebrity appearances in South Park is so long that it takes about half a day to scroll through. But one person who has so far escaped this show is Kendrick Lamar, and since he had a massive comeback year in 2024, he feels like the perfect person to add to this show. So because nobody else seems to be doing it, I'm gonna give it a go. And by the end of this video, you will see the first scene of this Kendrick Lamar focused episode before the whole thing comes out tomorrow.
Second bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot on the gas, but somebody gotta do it.
It's fair to say that Kendrick has had a bit of a comeback recently. He was the 10th highest selling artist of the year on Billboard, he released a couple diss tracks which won him a couple Grammys, he released an album, and then this year he got to follow up his 2022 Super Bowl halftime show feature with a whole halftime show to himself. And later this year, he is actually set to release a show with the creators of South Park, Matt Stone and Trey Parker, called A Slave Comedy, which is an interesting title. I don't know, this show sounds like it could either be incredible or just a massive flop, no in between. But he isn't the only rapper I'm going to be adding today, because there are two other big names that have so far escaped the show which I think would fit perfectly in my little fan episode, those names being Drake and Eminem. Oh, and while we're at it, we may as well give Kanye West a bit of screen time, because he's been doing some fun stuff recently, as well as Diddy, who has also been doing some equally fun stuff. Alright, picture this. Drake and Diddy are standing outside of a school, more specifically South Park Elementary. They are waiting for the kids to come out so they can catch them and kidnap them. But then, out of nowhere, like Superman flying with the sun behind him, comes Kendrick Lamar. Although he may be short, he manages to take down Diddy and Drake and takes them back to his basement where he interrogates them. Throw in some Kanye West shenanigans and some Eminem stuff, and that's my plan for the episode. Pure cinema. Right, enough f***ing around, let's actually start. The first step is to make the character models. I already have most of what I will need for Kanye, Diddy, and Eminem from my past dealings with them, but Kendrick and Drake need everything to be made from scratch for this project. As neither of them have ever been in the show before, it is up to me to decide what they should look like in the South Park art style. Now, this gives me a lot of power, and whilst it would have been funny to dress Kendrick up in this god-awful pink trousers and black coat combo, I ultimately decided to go with his 2025 Super Bowl outfit, with that incredible blue varsity jacket and A minor chain. Just pure perfection. I have a folder full of textures that are used in the actual show, so the first step is to go through and pick out the colour palette for the outfit. Then I can just use a masking tool to cut out the shapes for each detail. For heads, I usually like to get an actual picture of the person's head and trace it perfectly, and then draw on some of their more noticeable facial features after. I have to do this whole process for the head, torso, legs, and all of the different arm positions. Oh, then I have to do it for the side and back views as well. But after about a day of work, I can proudly show you my completed Kendrick Lamar character for the first time in the South Park art style. Now, Drake is Canadian, so he will obviously have the Canadian character model, which luckily makes things a bit quicker for me. Here he is from the front, side, and back. Oh, and also here he is tied up to a chair. You'll see what that's for later on. As for the other characters, they just need a few upgrades and some props. Whilst I was pretty happy with my first gay fish Kanye outfit from a few months ago, that look has kinda become outdated recently, because he has had a few interesting, out there, some may say daring outfits recently. So I present to you the new Kanye West. He's wearing a pointy ghost costume for Halloween, and he has a pretty little symbol on his chest. Perfect.
Hey, subscribe to the MPT channel, or else I'll make a diss track about you calling you a pedophile, and you won't be able to go anywhere without being made fun of ever again.
Now I'd like to quickly address the elephant in the room. That elephant being, who do I think won the 2024 beef? Kendrick or Drake? And my answer to that is, I don't really care. They both peaked in the early 2010s. Go listen to some good rap music. Thank me later. I'm actually kinda interested to know what my audience thinks about music, so go to the comments and drop your hottest takes about rap music. I wanna hear some crazy shit. Now I have all of the characters, but they have no voices, and considering all of these people make a living off talking, it feels like a bit of a problem. So let's quickly change that. As always, I am using Elevenlabs to get the performances for this episode. I do see a lot of people complaining in my comments about the AI voices in my videos, and I do agree that sometimes they might sound strange.
Yo, che, yo, he, yo, woo,
but they are really the only viable option for projects like these. Go and cry about it in the comments. To make AI versions of voices, you need to find lots of audio of the person talking with minimal background noise. For characters like Kendrick, it was easy. Just find an interview where he talks a lot, cut out all of his lines, and boom, you have his voice. Drake and Diddy were pretty much the same case, apart from Elevenlabs didn't like me using Drake's voice, presumably because it is on a list of protected celebrities. So I instead used audio from fellow rapper Tory Lanez because they basically sound the same.
You have a day that something happens on the internet, and like you said, you know,
I associate myself as a black man.
Eminem was slightly different though. His voice has changed a lot over the years, and I specifically want his voice to match the outfit that I have chosen to go with, that being from the early 2000s. The only problem is that interviews back then either had lots of background noise, or in the case of MTV, played music in the background. So to get around this, I decided to take advantage of the fact that he is a rapper, and found some a cappella versions of his songs from the time. And let me tell you, he is even more impressive when you just listen to the raw vocals. Just quickly check out his delivery on Till I Collapse.
Till I collapse, I'm spilling these raps. Long as you feel them to the day that I drop, you'll never say that I'm not killing them.
Just incredible artistry. Now we're almost ready to animate, but we're still missing all of the sets. Some of the backgrounds are easy to make, like the ones that are replicas of the original show. I do all of my sets in a software called Critter, so all I have to do is bring in a reference picture of the original and trace over each detail until I have a high quality expanded version of the actual thing. The first scene takes place outside South Park Elementary, but I had to get rid of the name on the school out of fear of getting either copyright claimed or striked. The last few videos that I have done in this style resulted in personal copyright claims from Paramount Studios, and at this point I am slightly worried about the prospect of getting sued for these videos, so removing details like this from the sets is something that I kinda have to do. As far as I know, it isn't really known what is opposite South Park Elementary in terms of the geography of South Park. It's usually just shown as mountains and grass on the other side of the road, but that's kinda boring, so I decided to use City Walk in the background to add a bit more detail. If you look at this map of South Park from the game The Stick of Truth, you can see that these places are actually nowhere near each other, but I think it looks cool, so we're sticking with it. When it came to making new locations though, like Kendrick's basement, it was completely up to me. I always liked the design of the dungeon in Pulp Fiction. I don't know what that says about me, but it is what it is. I decided to channel the vibes from that scene, and after a couple hours, this is what I got. I added a couple extra details like a trash bin full of all of the Grammys that Kendrick has won, as well as a wall covered in pictures of Drake, cause let's be real, at this point Kendrick is kind of obsessed with him. The final touch was adding these interrogation lights above the chairs where Drake and Diddy will be sitting, and it just makes the whole scene feel that much more cinematic. Now, animation. I animate everything for these episodes in Blender. What is Blender? A 3D animation software. Notice the 3 in 3D. I noticed the fact that all of my characters that I have made so far are 2D. So to use my 2D assets, I have to import them as textures attached to flat planes. But now when I try to move them, they don't pivot at the right point. I want this arm to move from the shoulder, like a normal person, not from the elbow, like a not normal person. So that means I have to manually adjust the center of origin for each asset in the episode, which when you have 171 assets, that becomes a bit of a problem. Actually just managing this many assets is also a bit annoying, because all of them have to be named in a very specific way so that they group together as individual characters. What, you thought that your 9 to 5 job is hard? Try working out the difference between 99 Diddy ARM S2 L1.1 and 98 Diddy ARM S2 R1.1. Almost sent me into a coma. When I animate these episodes, I usually like to put on some nice calm, relaxing music, and just go through scene by scene animating each horrific event one by one. By the end of the first scene, I had placed several thousand keyframes. Do you want to know what several thousand keyframes looks like? Every one of these dots indicates the time that one of the characters was moved, resulting in this big mess of lines that tells Blender exactly where every asset is in 3D space at any given time. Or, you know, something like that. I'm not going to pretend I actually understand how any of this works. But with that mess of lines, I can render out the 4,000 frames of this episode. The last step in the process is animating the mouths of the characters, which is really boring, so I'll just skip over it. Now what I'm about to show you is just the first scene of the episode. If you want to see the rest, subscribe and come back tomorrow. The whole thing will be out in 24 hours. And if anyone from Paramount Studios is watching, please don't sue me.
You see, Drake, this is how you do it. All we got to do is wait till 3 o'clock when the kids come out, and we'll be waiting for them. Man, I don't know about this. I'm starting to feel like I ain't, black enough for this kind of thing. Don't worry, just stay close to me and the baby oil. It makes us look more friendly to the kids. I don't know about this, Puff. In Canada, they teach us that it isn't good to kidnap kids. Yeah, but you're in America now. You gotta learn how we do things.
Hey guys, I just got back from a 2-day Twitter rant.
Yo, what the fuck are you wearing, Kanye?
This is the future of fashion.
Dude, take that off.
Okay, fine, but promise not to make fun of me. Now I know what you're thinking. Yes, I might look like a gay fish, and yes, I did suck my cousin's dick, and yes, I do like fish sticks, but goddamn it, I'm not a gay fish.
Shh, dude, we're not meant to admit to that stuff.
Well, what do we have here? 2 washed up creeps loitering outside a school like it's a strip club.
Yo, Kendrick, chill. We were just looking for someone to go to a party with. Nothing weird, I promise.
Unless that party comes with court orders and ankle bracelets, I ain't buying it.
Man, you're just mad because you're too short to reach the microphone stand at the Grammys.
Say that again, Aubrey. I dare you.
Kendrick, let's not do this. How about a lil baby oil to ease the tension? I'm sorry, maybe you didn't hear me from down there. I said, you are really fucking short.
That's it. You're all coming with me.